Netflix original series Resident Evil probably wasn't the greatest thing that Netflix has put out. No probably to it. It was not the greatest thing that Netflix put out. Welcome to Senior Here, where you come for all of your media needs. My name is Ray, and today I'm reviewing a Netflix original series, Resident Evil, directed by Martin Musovich, starring Tierra Smart, Sierra Aguadon, Lance Reddick, Paula Nunez, Ellen Balinska, and Adeline Rudolph. So you are actually following two main stories in this series plot. One of them takes place in 2022. Another one takes place in 2036, where you are following Jade and you are following Billy. And Billy Wesker. They're Weskers, by the way, and you know that means a lot. If anybody knows anything about the series, that name Wesker definitely is one of those names that kind of catch your attention, just like a Chris Redfield would and other well-known Resident Evil figures. And you really don't have to have watched any of the previous iterations of the films or played any of the games to actually be on this story. And to me, that's the best part about Resident Evil, is the fact that they made a whole new kind of prequel that did not mess up the storylines of the games or of the movies. And that right there has to be pointed out as one of the biggest positives, because we all know how hard it is to start a story off of something that has so much going before and after it. So with them doing that, I gotta applaud them. And the biggest thing I liked about this series is actually the acting. The acting really kind of held this series up to be a lot better than it probably wouldn't have if the acting wasn't there. Because the story that's actually going on in New Raccoon City is not groundbreaking, right? You know, when we have so many zombie-like films and television shows out there, it's kind of hard to almost remake the wheel, especially coming off of dealing with a well-established franchise like Resident Evil. A lot of people are going to come in with a lot of expectations. A lot of people are going to come in wanting to see some fanfare and also want to be brought up into the story of what's going on. Why should I watch another Resident Evil entity? The movie first came out in 2002. The game first came out in 1996. So we're talking a long time. But this show really stands above a lot of the other ones that came before, because we all know live action Resident Evil films are not that good. So live action TV shows, I wasn't really expecting much from this either. But the acting really was the biggest key to all of this. Lance Reddick led the way. He was phenomenal. I remember him from TV shows like Fringe. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but he kind of played that same role from the TV show Fringe. He kind of played that stoic, no, I'm not going to say know-it-all, but stoic, smart man. And he was playing Albert Wesker. We all know Wesker. Like, again, that name says a lot. And he killed the part to me. And there's so much interwoven into this story of how the twins are his daughters. And I don't want to ruin too much of the series, but I do want to let you know he is one of the best parts of the series. But overall, the acting is phenomenal for most people that's in it. In the zombie series, or anything in that kind of vein, the gore, the kills, the scares have to be there. And I felt like they had a good balance of this in this series of Resident Evil. They had a really good balance of not overkilling or not over scaring, but actually trying to mix that into the story. And they also brought other elements like the huge monsters and bugs and creatures that really gave this another element that you typically don't see in other zombie or post-apocalyptic films. So I really, or TV series, I should say. So I really do enjoy that. I enjoy that nice pacing of good action, good storytelling, and also well-balanced scares. Now, with this series having two main plots going on, they kind of one of those flashbacks of the past where they kind of tell you how the past was and go back to the future and bounce back and forth. A lot of series typically use that strategy, especially in their first few seasons, and this series did that as well. And the only thing that kind of kills something like that is if one of the past or the present is better than one or the other. And in this one, it was clearly the past that was a lot better than, I guess you would call it, the present or the future, right? It's a lot better And that is probably the biggest negative, is that since both of them are not even, you have one lopsided story. And when you get to the other story, you're like, all right, hurry up and get me back to the last story, because that was the story that I actually like. This one is kind of almost feel tacked on, and that is actually the story that you're going to be getting going into the future. I do still believe that they're going to continue to do the flashbacks of the past and the future based on how the story ended. And there's a lot of there's a lot of past and future left to be told. So they will continue to try to balance that. Hopefully, if they continue the series, if Netflix doesn't cancel it. We know how Netflix likes to cancel series. So yes, if Netflix does not cancel this series, hopefully we can get a balance of having a great past and having a great future, because we didn't really get that in this particular series, or at least of the first season, and that's probably one of the biggest weaknesses. I would have rather seen the young Jade and Billy versus the older Jade and Billy. Another negative to this series that cannot, and I stress, cannot be overlooked, and might be a personal thing for me, so let me start off by saying it might be a little bit of biasness in this for me, but I hate, and let me repeat this, I hate when movies and or TV shows have stupid people. I hate it so much. I don't mind a dumb character here and there, but I hate when my main character is not smart or not making smart decisions. Yes, I know they are children, and we have all been kids, and none of us was brilliant or really running stuff and knowing everything. We all went through our teenage angst and so on and so forth. But I do expect two 14-year-old girls that are enhanced, right, that are part of the Wesker bloodline, to make better decisions and not always fall for the stupid decisions just to push the plot forward. I feel like as a writer, you have to do a better job of pushing this plot forward by not relying on writing stupid characters to get you to these points of mistakes or points of emphasis that you want to create in your story or your narrative. I feel like you got to just do a better job of writing their way into these situations versus using their intelligence level to get us there. With that being said, Netflix original series Resident Evil probably wasn't the greatest thing that Netflix has put out. No probably to it. It was not the greatest thing that Netflix put out. But I can say that this series was a solid entry in the Netflix library. It's okay, right? We got Stranger Things. Don't forget we got Stranger Things. It was not no Stranger Things. But once you get done with Stranger Things and some of the other content on Netflix, I think Resident Evil is worth checking out. I would give Resident Evil a 7.3. I do believe that the acting is what kept this series real above water. Because without the acting, we would have been somewhere in the fives, I'm not going to lie. So the acting is what really kept this series from being the dud. The story wasn't that bad. It was just fresh enough and compelling enough to make me want to continue to watch the entire series. At no point did I want to turn it off or say, yeah, I'm done. Because, Netflix has those shows, you like one episode in, 2 episodes in, I'm done. And this needs to be canceled, right? But they typically only cancel the shows that people actually like. But anyway, I definitely think it's something that's worth checking out. That concludes the review of Netflix original series Resident Evil. Please go check out all of the Seen It Here content. Make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe to Triple Threat if you like the content that is being delivered. And don't forget, you Seen It Here.